It's time for Spotlight on Florida, tourism headlines, events around the state, and interviews with tourism leaders. Right now on Spotlight on Florida, a pre-session interview with Representative Jim Mooney from the Keys.
Also, a new study from Beach.com has named one of Florida's beaches the #1 beach in the entire southeast U.S. And later in the show, flamingos are flocking back to the Sunshine State.
I'm Joel Silver.
And I'm Mylissa Shimento.
We're in the Spotlight on Florida Tourism Newsroom.
And let's get into some headlines. A new study from Beach.com has named Ocean Reef Park in Riviera Beach the #1 beach in the entire southeast United States. The research team analyzed more than 1,300 beaches across 4 states using satellite data, AI review analysis, and environmental measurements.
Ocean Reef Park came out on top for its crystal clear water, lush environment, and glowing visitor reviews. Located on Singer Island in Palm Beach County, Ocean Reef Park dazzled visitors with its coral reef, sea turtles, and vibrant marine life, plus plenty of free parking and family-friendly amenities.
The Sunshine State actually claimed every single spot on the top 12 list, proof that when it comes to beautiful coastlines, Florida leads the pack.
I like it. I would expect nothing less than all the top spots for Florida.
Absolutely.
There's nothing better. All right, hey, check this out. From the beaches to the roads. If you're planning to hit the road for the holidays, you're not alone. AAA says more Floridians are traveling for Thanksgiving and Christmas this year, and most are booking early, so get ready for those tourists. According to AAA's new survey, 59% of Floridians will take an overnight trip this holiday season, with most heading for major cities, beaches, of course, or cruises.
And AAA recommends finalizing plans before the end of October to lock in the best prices and nonstop flight options. And if you're flying, the best travel days are the Sunday or Monday before Thanksgiving and the Saturday after, when airports are less crowded.
And well, they also remind travelers that travel insurance can be a smart safeguard this winter, especially with unpredictable weather, full flights, and who knows what's going on with the air traffic controllers.
So if you haven't booked yet, get moving. Early planning could make all the difference in keeping your holiday travel stress-free.
Oh, that's what everyone thinks about. When they think about travel, just stress-free.
Right, especially at the holidays.
Yes. Even if we had it all stress-free here, you're still with your family, there's still going to be some stress, right?
Maybe not this year.
Get out there and go see Florida, people. All right, our final headline, a colorful comeback that's catching everyone's attention. Flamingos are flocking back to Florida for the first time, listen to this, in over a century.
That's right. After being wiped out in the 1800s, new research from Florida International University and Audubon, Florida shows wild flamingos are nesting again in the Everglades and Florida Bay.
For example, listen to this. Flamingos were spotted this summer nesting in Mexico before returning to Florida, a hopeful sign of the species and the ecosystem's rebirth. Nothing would make me happier than to see some flamingos running around.
How beautiful. And they're so iconic to Florida. So
the thing that I always hear, right, people always tell me they think of alligators when they think of Florida, and you never see an alligator if you come travel here.
No.
But if we could convert that and make people think about flamingos,
yeah.
We'd be even more popular.
Well, they're making a comeback, so
yes.
There we go.
Exactly. All right, folks, time to talk about our event of the weekend. Oh my goodness, you might have missed a big one. This was the Hospitality and Tourism Stars of the Industry, and all of the people were out to recognize the leaders in tourism. Now, over this next several weeks, we're going to be telling you who won in several categories, and take a look at one of your winners here. From the Henderson Hotel in Destin, Florida, this is the Hospitality Stars of the Industry Gala. And now, with one of those stars, Supplier of the Year, Jordan Beckner. Jordan, congratulations on being Florida Restaurant Lodging Association Supplier of the Year.
Thank you very much. It's an honor. It's, to be recognized by your peers and your customers is no greater honor. So, thank you.
It was great to see you up on that stage. So, reminisce it for me. Talk about what happened. You got called up there, and how did it feel to be, after all these years? Tell us how many years you've been around for this in this organization.
I believe the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association merged in 2006. So we're right at 19 years, almost 2 decades. And, it's just amazing. It's amazing to be able to have been up there with Carol and Nick and Greg, and and to accept the award, and everything that's happened this weekend, all the acknowledgments, it's a little overwhelming.
For those of you that don't know Jordan, Jordan has been in this industry for so many years.
25. We're
25.
Celebrating our 25 years.
And tell everybody the name of the company.
Fiber Built Umbrellas and Cushions.
Been supplying things to this industry for so many years, specifically umbrellas. And not only that, but you're a favorite in this industry. As we go around this event, as we go around the state, so many people said Jordan is way more than just a supplier. He's a friend and an amazing guy.
Thank you. That's how I feel. Carol's family, you guys are family. I mean, we've been with you guys for forever. And so it's family. It's friendships, it's fellowship, and the business is on the side. The business is just a bonus for it. Any kind of sales, it's all personal relationships, and we've had some great ones here.
That's great. Talk about this industry and what makes you really enjoy it, and it may be what you just said, or is it more?
I mean, it's the only industry in the world where I believe that competitors come together and talk strategy and talk friendship. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to be friends with my competitors. I'm not going to walk in a room with the other umbrella company and strategize about how to do a better business. But this industry, again, the relationships and the opportunities that you get. I try to tell Jessie when I first started that this is a very large industry, but it's real. My daughter Jessica, but it's real tiny. Because somebody here is going to know somebody somewhere. Greg Cook has been with the Ritz forever, and he has been to a lot of different places, a lot of different Ritz, and so he knows people who knows people. So everywhere we go, we have an opportunity to make new friends and build better relationships.
I absolutely love hearing that. So, on a night like this, how does it feel inside? You brought home Supplier of the Year after all these years, all your friends and family around. Talk to me about how this feels for you on a night like tonight.
Well, I think it's, the good part is they waited till I've been sober a while. Because if you'd known me in my early days, you'd have known I'd already been lit, and by the time probably tripped and fell off the stage. So
that may be true, we don't know.
Yeah, being sober is just being here and being able to relish it and remember it, and and have friends like John Horn and Heiko and Greg, and I mean Olivia, and all of them have been with me for years and years, and just to have them here with me, and my daughter and my wife and her fiance, it's just an honor. It's an honor and a pleasure, and a little overwhelming, as I said before.
Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, the Supplier of the Year brought home the big award, Jordan Beckner, Fiber Built Umbrellas. Congratulations. Nobody deserves it more than you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Look them up online. You are looking at some images of the Florida Keys. It is a treasure of the state of Florida. And today, the person who represents the Keys in the Florida House of Representatives is our guest. Check it out right next to me. Representative Jim Mooney from the Keys. Representative, thanks for joining us on Spotlight on Florida.
Thank you for having me, Joel. It's always a pleasure to talk with you.
Listen, you talked to us last year while you were up in Tallahassee, and you're getting ready to come back. So the action is about to start in Tallahassee. So we wanted to have you on to make sure our viewers know what this whole process is about and what's about to happen. So if we can go through that for a little bit, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Keys, what's going on down there with you in tourism, and all sorts of stuff. So we're looking forward to the whole conversation. But let's start with the Capitol. So November means committee meetings, and you're coming up, and what's going on in Tallahassee?
Well, I mean, yeah, we started committee 3 weeks ago. So, committee meetings are interesting. Right now, we're sort of in the early phases where we're getting a lot of presentations presented to us by FWC or educational presentations, depending on what committees we all sit in. So we had a field trip, and we've already done a couple field trips this year, which have been fun, seeing some really neat stuff around Tallahassee, and for everything from affordable housing and small housing to the new emergency management building being built by the state of Florida. Very impressive. And I don't know who the contractors are, but I have to tell you, they're impressive to build a 200,000 square foot building in a year and a half. But so right now we're gearing up. We'll continue to get some presentations in front of us, and then the bills will start to come. But obviously, I think our first topic of conversation, literally at the bill level, will be the proposals of the HRs for property taxes. So we've got to vet those and figure out how we twist and turn those to make it palatable and very understandable for the public. I'm
Because the House of Representatives, which you're a member of, they have a mission. They're either trying to greatly reduce or eliminate all property tax in Florida, right?
Yep, the governor wants them eliminated. Me coming out of local government, I think that's a little bit of a push. But I do believe there's help for people with property taxes. I do believe there's some ways to start the conversation and make it where we don't lose the quality of life and certainly a quality of service, particularly life safety when it comes to life safety. But the conversation is going to be vigorous, I'm sure. Going to be, I don't think heated so much as I think there's just going to be a whole lot of different ideas that come out of these 7 different options. So it's going to be interesting.
So now, those of you, if you're not familiar with the whole legislative process and how it all works, there's 120 members in the House. If you go all the way down to the bottom, District 120, the last district in the House, that's South Dade and the Keys. That's the area that Representative Mooney represents, and we have a different representative for all the areas of the state. So, Rep, you come up, you deal with people from all over Florida, and you
Yes.
try to pass legislation, and some of that is tourism related, right?
Oh yeah, yep. A lot of it is directly related to tourism, even though it may not sound like it on the surface. A lot of what we do definitely has an impact on tourism, positive and negative sometimes, unfortunately. But for the most part, I think the state is very aware of how important tourism is to the state of Florida and in our businesses. We in the Florida Keys and in South Dade in general, we get Miami Beach, which is not my district, but you start talking about the beaches and it goes around the state. The beaches are #1 draw in the state of Florida. For the Florida Keys, it's mostly diving and fishing. We don't have a lot of beaches per se. We got a couple of little state parks that have nice beaches, but nothing that you would imagine like Pensacola or the Panhandle has those big, beautiful white beaches. But for us, it's fishing and diving and just sightseeing. We've got a lot of history in the Florida Keys that we try and always bring to the forefront for people who're not familiar with the area because they don't really understand the total amount of history we have that has such a major impact on the state of Florida back in the 1800s and early 1900s. Flagler's Railroad being one of them, but basically the 8th wonder of the world, in my opinion. And tourism in
Yeah,
Florida
that's
Keys
a good
is
one.
literally our lifeblood. I mean, in the Keys, it is tourism, tourism, and tourism. So we like tourists.
Yeah, and so we have people watching from all over the state, I mean, around the country, everywhere, but a lot of people in the state, in the industry. And this is a time, especially when you're in committee meetings, that you want to hear from people, what can help and what you can do in the process. So you encourage people from the tourism industry to call you and talk to you.
Yes, I have a very close working relationship with our Tourist Development Council and all the members of different levels throughout the county. We take it very serious in Monroe County, but I don't want it to get lost that we just take tourist money and it just becomes this giant pool of cash. The amount of money that is given back to the communities via infrastructure projects or supporting, for instance, I'm on a board where we're trying to save the lighthouse, Alligator Lighthouse. The feds were going to take them down, and so they offered us free to restore it, which is about $9 million, it looks like. So much for free. But it's without Alligator Lighthouse in Alamorada, it just wouldn't be Alamorada. And the same goes for Marathon and Sombrero and the lighthouses throughout the Keys. And the Tourist Development Council gives us back money to invest in the infrastructure and also promote a world-class open water swim that over 400 people sign up for from 17 different countries, I believe, this year. So fascinating. So, we don't just take the tourist money and go, thank you very much. We're always reinvesting in the infrastructure and how we want to continue to make tourists enjoy their time here. We want to make sure they have fun. Want to make sure they don't see the same old thing, and we don't want any crumbling infrastructure for sure. So it's
We
very
love the
important to us.
Keys.
Oh,
We definitely love the
I love
Keys.
all of Florida, but
How many people are involved in the open water swim?
over 400.
Wow.
Yeah,
Right
it's
in the
roughly nine.
ocean.
It's just under 9 miles round trip to the lighthouse and back. Um, yeah, it's amazing.
That sounds
This
like
year
a great
summer
event.
finished under 3 hours. Oh, it's worth coming to see if you. We'll have it again next year. We just finished
Well,
it.
we need to get footage of that. Let's talk
Oh, it's
about
amazing.
some tourism stuff down in your area. If For those viewers, if you've been staying up with Spotlight on Florida, you know we just did a story. We had a resort down in the Keys, Little Palm Island. Now we've got 3 keys, Michelin stars, and they are amazing. Michelin keys. And what do you hear about that?
Well, I haven't heard about the Michelin Award yet, but I know Little Palm Island very, very well. I was there actually the first week they ever opened. Was very fast. It was fun, beautiful. It was very small, very quaint. Um, definitely high end, but this gets back to the old you get what you pay for, and you definitely get what you pay for there, times three. It's beautiful. It's a little island. I don't know. The total acreage there is probably, I don't know, 7, 8 acres out in the ocean, and close enough to shore that you take a ferry out, and but big yachts can get in there. And it's I think 30 total rooms there. And every time a big storm comes and wipes them out, they just rebuild it and get it right back up and running. But it is very, very, very beautiful. And you can actually go out there without staying there. You can go out on Sundays. They have a Sunday brunch. You can go out in a boat. They take you out and you eat and drink all you want and come back. So it's yes, located in the middle Keys.
Speaking of storms, you guys are doing pretty good down there this season, huh?
Well, I've been knocking my head against the wood all season. I feel
Unbelievable. No
well. Yeah,
storms, no,
we don't need one.
and it's
Florida doesn't need anything. We're good for
it's
a
the end of
while.
hurricane season. So congratulations, you guys. I think made
Well,
it
it's
through
not
it.
over yet, but
Yeah, but
the
we're
cool fronts
closing
should
in
keep
on
them
it. So
away. We're close.
how fabulous would that be if there was not one storm that
That
hit?
would be wonderful.
We definitely need
But I'm
that.
praying for our friends in Jamaica, but
Yes,
and Cuba on
absolutely.
the Eastern Shore.
So so what else? Anything else about tourism down in the Keys that you want to talk
Well,
about?
this summer we had a lot of wind this summer, which definitely affects because summer obviously is a big fishing time for particularly Floridians who come to the Keys. Our tourism in the summer, most visitors are from Florida. They come for lobster. Obviously, we have the mini season. They come to fish. Fishing is always really good here throughout the year, but in the summer times you get a lot of dolphin, a lot of mahi mahi, which had a nice push this year. But the wind definitely held some people back this year. And then we had a lot of rain towards the end of summer. It literally rained about 6 weeks in a row, almost every single day, all day. Which unfortunately North the Panhandle didn't get any of that rain. But yeah, the tourism was good. This in the big picture, it was still stable. I wouldn't say it was fantastic off the charts, but it was stable. And I think again, weather has a lot to do with it down here. You can but once school starts, tourism ends here. We're in a very much of a lull right now. Once school starts, we're done until a little after November. We'll get a push there around Thanksgiving, and then our big push will come basically Christmas. And for 2 weeks after Christmas, that's usually the two busiest weeks of the year in the entire Florida Keys. And after that, it's Katie bar the door until a couple weeks past Easter. So, we'll continue to take care of our tourism industry and take care of the people who visit us because we really do like them.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So you're just entering your season down there now, and
yeah,
it's
we're
going to
getting
be
ready to get
jam packed.
started. Yes, we're getting ready to get started, and I believe most of the resorts I hear are starting off on a pretty good note. So,
That's good to hear. You know, we were with Visit Florida at their governor's conference on tourism recently. They unleashed and unveiled, I should say, the brand new marketing campaign, Live More Floridays. And it's based on some of the music of Jimmy Buffett and a song that he had recorded years ago, and they remastered it, and they're pushing everybody around the world to come live more Floridays, and
hey,
with that
I like
Jimmy
it.
Buffett music that I bet you love.
I love Jimmy Buffett music. I was fortunate enough to meet Jimmy way back in the day, and when Representative Clemens and ran the bill. He and I, of course, have prime coded with him. We named the A1A after Jimmy Buffett. So Jimmy Buffett is obviously a worldwide model for success, a very highly respected man outside of the music world, but highly respected as a person for his environmental components that he always stuck with. He was save the manatees kind of guy, and we like that. It's part of what makes us click in the state of Florida is the uniqueness we have. But when you say Jimmy Buffett, I think everybody in the world understands, and he called Florida his home. So it's hard to beat that one.
Everyone's loving the campaign so far.
I would think.
It's a good one. All right. When you have Representative Jim Mooney on the program, and when you're talking about what's happening in Tallahassee, Rep Mooney, I got to ask, are you filing your bill again for the state bird of Florida?
The bill is filed. It's House Bill 11. We didn't
All right.
get one, but we got one.
And tell everybody what it does.
So our state bird right now, as most people would have no idea, is the mockingbird, which I think 5 other states have the mockingbird. Part of this push came when a flamingo showed up in Tampa after Hurricane Idalia, and then all of a sudden flamingos started showing up again. They've always been here in the Florida Keys and in South Florida, but not to the extent to the extent they used to be here. But now we have a flock of 155 flamingos sitting, literally, I'm looking at this picture behind me is what I'm looking at right now live. About 14 miles as the crow flies, we have a giant flock. And part of it is the flamingo every airport has a flamingo if you get a t-shirt, no mockingbirds. Also included in that bill is the scrub jay, which is our only songbird in the state of Florida. And so I tell people all the time, this is an environmental bill. And they look at me sort of weird. And I go, think about this. Why are the flamingos staying? Because they are migratory birds, but they'll do like anything else. They migrate, but they will have their sort of home. The guys always stay home. The Everglades restoration's starting to take effect. We're getting good water flow now again, where there's been a lack of water flow for over 75 years. Scrub jay, on the other hand, is being bulldozed out of its environment. And so we need to make people aware that we can't lose the scrub jay, which is apparently the only place in the world this little bird is found, is Florida. We have to protect their environment as much as we can, and at the same time continue the restoration of Florida's Everglades, because flamingos are a critical component to the ecosystem. And when they come back, it lends credence to the fact that crayfish come back and shrimp come back and crabs come back, which mean fish come back. So it's a very symbiotic relationship, and they're a beautiful bird to top it off. But people question if they're native. They are native, 100% native, but they were plumed out in the late 1800s, and they were taken for their feathers, like the great herons, and they were also taken for their tongues, which was a delicacy. So they were also eaten as well. I found that interesting in my research on flamingo. But I've lived here my entire life, and so I'm not used to not seeing them, but I'm happy to see more of them, and people love them. So I think that it's a natural thing. It's been tried before, and I think it's the right time to do it, because I think the governor has spent a ton of money, as he said he would, and he did, on Everglades restoration. He expedited projects, amazing, which is hard to imagine in government. That's something that actually moves quick instead of slow. But the governor's push to raise the Tamiami Trail has made the Everglades that much more valuable to the ecosystem. It's like, again, once it was degraded, is now coming back to life, slowly but surely. And so it's the perfect time to make the flamingo the state bird. And of course, what's on the lottery ticket? A flamingo. So flamingos relatively attached to the state of Florida. Palm trees and flamingos was always what I saw growing up as a kid. So,
hey,
it's a fun bill. We don't get a lot of fun bills. It's filed, yeah.
Last couple of years, didn't get it over the finish line, but you're trying again to bring the flamingo back.
Speaker says we're going to hear the bill, so that's all that matters.
All right. I love to hear that. We're gonna hopefully get some updates when you get into Tallahassee. We'll find you out there. We'll have you on again, and we'll get an update.
I'll probably be wearing a flamingo shirt.
Before we let you go, what is your message to those in the tourism industry, and how you feel about tourism?
Well, to the visitors, thank you for taking Florida, and putting us in front of your eyes and saying, hey, you know what, Florida's a great place to visit. For the people who are involved in the tourist industry, from the service industry to the hotel industry, to the people who run the tourist development councils in areas around the state of Florida. Thank you for what you're doing. Always remember to reinvest that money again, like I think most of them do, into infrastructure. Put it back out to the public so the public uses it. Because remember, when the tourists leave their money, they leave it back for us, for them to have reinvestments. But then we spend money and we go somewhere and become a tourist. And so it's a big broad circle. They spend money here, maybe I buy a piece of property here. I make money. I go to Utah, go ski, and I leave my money there for their tourist industry. And next thing you know, I wake up and see "Welcome to the Florida Keys" on TV in Utah. So it's an integral part of actually our entire country, if you think about it, because we do get a lot of tourism, and tourism drives a lot of boats in this country. But in Florida, it's the captain of the boat. We do have a nice array of different businesses, but tourism obviously is it. I mean, like, nobody can deny that. It can't be denied.
I love it. I love that energy. I love that analogy too, with the boats, and the captain of the boat is Florida.
That's right.
That's great. Well, I can't thank you enough for being here. I love the background. I want to come sit on that dock with you, and and enjoy the Keys. Maybe we need to just do our show from down there, I think, every week.
Yeah, you should come down here and take a ride out to Little Palm Island, see?
There you go. We're going to take you up on that. All right. Representative Jim Mooney from the Keys, thanks so much. We'll look forward to talking to you more as the legislative session progresses.
Thank you, Joel. Have a wonderful day.
All right. We'll see you soon.